Good morning, third graders. Today is April 15th, Wednesday, 2020. And today we continue our unit on fairy tales and other types of tales. Today we move on to looking at folk tales. Now, just like with fairy tales, folk tales have certain elements as well, very similar to fairy tales, but just a few differences. First of all, they continue to have special beginning words like there once was, or at the end, you might also see, and they lived happily ever after once again. There's again a good character, and there are usually evil characters. There are also animals in folk tales that have human characteristics. There's once again a problem and a solution. And there are a lot of things in folktales that happen in threes, like 3 events, 3 main characters, 3 problems that the main characters might face. Now, the interesting thing about the end of a folktale is that it ends with the character learning some type of lesson. So, an example of a really great, well-known folktale is The Three Billy Goats Gruff, which I have posted for you today so that you can view. And you can also consider that as part of your 30 minutes of reading today. Also, boys and girls, the cool thing about The Three Billy Goats Gruff is that you notice in that story, there are 3 billy goats. They're good characters. There's an evil character, the ogre, right? There's also a problem. The billy goats are really hungry and they need to get up to the top of the hillside to have the green grass. Yummy. Kind of like a salad from Panera, right? Anyway, the problem is that ogre is stopping them from getting up the hillside. And so we go on to the 3 very famous events where they trip, trap across the bridge. And the ogre calls out to each of the billy goats in each of these events that he is going to eat them up. And the 2 younger billy goats say, wait for my next brother, wait for the next brother. They'll taste even better, right? Until finally the big billy goat Gruff comes across the bridge and pokes the ogre with his horns, and the ogre is gone forever. The billy goats are then free to go up the side of the mountain to eat that yummy green grass. And I heard that they're still there, even today. So the problem is solved. And I think the billy goats learned that you don't want to mess with the great big billy goat Gruff, right? And that you got to watch out for these ogres along the way in life, right? That they might try to trip you up. And it's good to have a goal to get to that green grass on the hillside, right? So let's take a look at our read aloud today. Now, our read aloud is actually one of my very favorite folk tales. This is taken from Italy, okay? And this is written by one of my favorite authors, Tommy Di Paola. And Tommy Di Paola is an author and an illustrator. You guys are like that too. You write books and you illustrate books too. So in our story today, we're going to meet Big Anthony. And Big Anthony has a problem, right? Well, Big Anthony and the Magic Ring is our story for today. So sit back and relax. Now, at the end of the story, I'm going to have you go to my post of the elements of this folk tale. And guess what I did? I created a story map. Now, we know that a map is something that we use when we're traveling from place to place. It gives us directions on where to go. It also lets us know what the surrounding area looks like. Well, a story map is really helpful to us readers because it lets us know what the surrounding story looks like, right? And so it's going to include the main characters, the setting, the problem or the goal, the 3 events, and then the resolution or the ending. But remember I said that one of the elements in a fairy tale is that lesson that is learned at the end. And so in this story, Big Anthony's going to learn a lesson at the end of the story. So here we go. Big Anthony and the Magic Ring by Tommy DiPiola. Wintertime was very quiet in the little town of Calabria, where Stregonona is also known as Grandma Witch, and her helper, Big Anthony, lived. People came to Stregonona to help them solve their troubles. Big Anthony did his chores and tried to behave himself. And every morning, Bambolona, the baker's daughter, came to deliver the bread. So the cool thing, boys and girls, is the first page, we just learned who our three main characters are. Big Anthony, Stregonona, and Bambolona. And we also learned the setting of this story in Calabria, a small little town in Italy. One day the sun began to shine a little brighter, the birds began to sing a little sweeter, and the flowers began to bloom everywhere. Spring had come, and Big Anthony began to drag his feet. "Anthony," said Stregonona, "whatever is the matter? You're sleeping late, your chores are half done, and every time I look at you, you're gazing into space and sighing." "Oh, Stregonona, I don't know what's wrong with me," said Big Anthony. "Everything in my head is a fuzzy." "I think you have spring fever," said Stregonona. "What you need is a little nightlife. Why don't you go to the village dance tonight? It would perk you up." Big Anthony sighed again. "The village seems so far away," he said. "And anyway, who would want to dance with me?" "Bambolona, the baker's daughter, would," said Stregonona. "Why don't you ask her when she brings the bread?" "Who?" asked Big Anthony, for in truth, he had never noticed her. So there's Stregonona, Big Anthony, there's Bambolona. I wonder how she's able to balance all that bread on her head. I don't think I could do it. When supper was finished and Stregonona was straightening up her cupboard, she suddenly stopped and said to herself, a little nightlife. That's not a bad idea. It's been quite a while since I went to the village and danced the tarantella. Now, if you didn't know this, a tarantella is a real dance. It's a cultural dance from the country of Italy. It's a folk dance. Then she began to bang the little drawers open and shut, looking into each of them. The noise startled Big Anthony, who was sitting just outside gazing at the moon. "What is Stregonona doing?" he asked himself, peeking through the crack in the door. "Aha, here it is," said Stregonona, holding up a tiny golden ring. "I haven't used this in years." She slipped the ring on her first finger of her right hand and began to sing. "O little band, my golden ring, listen to the song I sing. Make me look as I do not, and to the village dance I'll trot." There was a poof of smoke, and instead of Stregonona, there stood a beautiful lady in elegant clothes. Big Anthony could hardly believe his eyes. Secretly, Big Anthony followed the beautiful lady all the way to the village square, and there he watched her dance the tarantella all night long. When the dance was over, Big Anthony followed her back to Stregonona's house. There the lady sang, "O shiny band, my golden ring, again the little song I sing. The dance is done, the moon does wane. Turn me back to me again." Then she slipped the ring off her finger. With a poof of smoke, there was Stregonona. "Oh," whispered Big Anthony, "if only I could get that ring, I would be the handsomest man in all of Calabria, and all the village ladies would want to dance with me." Big Anthony decided to wait for his chance, which came the very next morning after Bambolona brought the bread. "Anthony, I must go and visit my grandchildren," said Stregonona, "now that it's Eastertide. Be a good ragazzo. Stay out of trouble, do your chores, and don't drag your feet." "See, yes, Stregonona," said the Big Anthony. Look who's there again. She's really good at delivering bread, isn't she? All day long, Big Anthony waited. Finally, when the sun went down, he ran inside and rummaged through the drawers of Stregonona's magic cupboard until he found the tiny golden ring. He pushed it on the first finger of his right hand as far as he could get it. Then he sang, "O little band, my golden ring, listen to the song I sing. Make me look as I do not, and to the village dance I'll trot." There was a poof of smoke. Big Anthony rushed to the mirror and looked. The face looking back at him was certainly not his own. There stood a handsome Big Anthony in elegant clothes. "Aha!" shouted handsome Big Anthony. "And now for a little nightlife." Uh-oh. When he strolled into the village, everyone was dancing the tarantella in the middle of the square. In a second, handsome Big Anthony was surrounded by all the ladies there, young and old, fair and thin, pretty and not so pretty. They had never seen such a handsome man in all their lives. "Come and dance with me," they all cried, pulling at his arms. So look at him. I think he's in for a little nightlife. Round and round they went, dancing the tarantella. "So this is a little nightlife," thought handsome Big Anthony happily. After several hours, handsome Big Anthony was beginning to get a little tired, but the ladies wouldn't let him stop dancing. "Caro," they cried, "dance with me. Caro next." And they began to push and shove. They pushed and shoved so much that at last handsome Big Anthony got scared. "Uno momento, just a momento, let me catch my breath." But the pushing and shoving and grabbing and kissing only went on more. Handsome Big Anthony began to run, and the ladies began to run too, after him. Handsome Big Anthony stopped and sang, "Oh, shiny band, my golden ring, again the little song I sing. The dance is done, the moon does wane. Turn me back to me again, please." Then he tried to take off the ring, but it stuck fast. "Mamma mia," he cried. "What am I going to do?" Big Anthony's in quite a mess right now. Let's see what happens next. Past the fountain, past the priest, past the sisters of the convent on their way to prayers, he ran. Out through the gate, past the goats, into the countryside. Me, dance with me. Amore, cried the ladies close behind. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. It's just a mess. Handsome Big Anthony continued to run. Again he sang the song, although he was out of breath. Again he tugged at the ring, but it wouldn't budge. At last he climbed a cypress tree up to the very top. Now he had nowhere to go. "Help! Save me! Help!" he cried. And he sang some more and tugged some more. But it did no good. The ladies reached the tree and shook it hard. Shook and shook it. "Come down, you handsome devil, you. Dance with us some more, with Maria, Conchita, Calinda, Rosanna, Teresa, Francesca, Clolita," they cried. Finally, they shook the tree so hard that handsome Big Anthony lost his grip and flew into the air. "Oh, no," he cried. "Now they'll get me for sure." Not good. He landed on his handsome, big nose, right in front of a little house, Stregonona's house. And Stregonona was home from her visit. It didn't take her time to blow 3 kisses to see what had happened. Oh, I hear 3 in there. Anthony, she said, where did you get my magic ring? Oh, Stregonona, help me, please. I only wanted a little fun, just a little nightlife. I sang the song, but the ring is stuck. What am I to do? Here they come. They're after me. Please make me me again. Stregonona opened a flagon of olive oil, so probably just a small little bottle of olive oil. Olive oil is very oily, and it would help be a lubricant, and rubbed some oil on his finger. Now, she said, sing. Handsome Big Anthony loudly sang, "Oh, shiny band, my golden ring, again the little song I sing. The dance is done, the moon does wane, turn me back to me again." The ring slipped off his finger, and when the puff of smoke had cleared, there sat plain Big Anthony. Where is he? Oh, where did he go? Where is that handsome devil? Cried the ladies from the village. There's no one here, as you can see, but me and Big Anthony, cried Stregonona, calling, wait, wait, wait for us. The ladies rushed away, and soon they were out of sight. Oh, Anthony, said Stregonona, you will never learn. Stregonona, you have saved my life again. Never again, I promise, never will I touch your magic, cried Big Anthony. I think he learned something, didn't he? Never mind, Big Anthony, said Stregonona with a smile. There are other kinds of magic in the spring. I wonder if she's talking about Bambolona. Maybe. The end. So boys and girls, today, when you go to your next post, you are going to see the story map of Stregonona. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to read through that story map. I have put in the characters, 3, the setting, the problem or goal, and the 3 events for you. What I need you to do is write down, type in for me, some of the magic you saw in this story. What were some things that were magical? The other thing I'd like you to do is this. I also put in the end of the story and the resolution. But Big Anthony learned some kind of lesson in this story, didn't he? So I'd like you to tell me, what is the lesson that Big Anthony learns in this story? Was it really worth it for him to be handsome, Big Anthony? Or did he learn something about just being himself? So I'd like you to fill that out for me. It's highlighted in green at the bottom of the story map. So you've got to read through the whole story map to get to what you have to do today to finish off our story map. So, boys and girls, your 3 things for today are that you have watched the mini lesson and read aloud. You're going to finish off the story map. And then I have added another read aloud from YouTube of Paul Galdon's 3 Billy Goats Gruff. Interesting. You have to do 3 things for reading today. And of course, one more thing is I always want you to be reading 30 minutes independently. So on the count of 3, this video is going to be done with a puff of smoke. Well, maybe not, but 1, 2, 3. Poof.